I'm back. Yes, the TheKenZone is back. After 18 months, you might ask, why, Ken, did you restart the show? I'll tell you why. For years, I've been going to John's Corner, a diner here in town. Although in the past 105 days, I've noticed, both in this diner and the country as a whole, there are two kinds of people in the United States today. First, there are those who like Trump, like me. And then there are those who hate Trump. No, they despise Trump. Talking to these Trump haters is extremely frustrating. I'll ask him or her, why do you hate Trump so much? Their answer, he's an idiot. That's not an answer. I'll ask them to give me more of a specific, and they'll come back to me, he's a liar. Again, this is not an answer. Again, I might ask them, give me something more specific. He's a racist. Another talking point without saying why he is a racist or a liar. Trying to talk rationally to someone who truly hates the man is almost impossible. No, strike that. It is impossible. Some even say they don't like the sound of his voice. How much more petty do they need to get? At this point, I'd like to define the word hate. Webster defines hate as to feel intense or passionate dislike for someone. But these people just don't dislike President Trump's policies. They hate the man. Back when President Obama was in office, the Democrats spoke ill of people like Rush Limbaugh for saying that they wanted to see Obama's policies fail. They didn't hate the man. It was just his policies they disagreed with and thought that they would be bad for our country. Of course, by simply disagreeing with his policies, you were deemed a racist. Could you imagine the reaction from these Democrats if Obama was treated the same way they are treated our President Trump? There would be total outrage from both the Democratic Party and all the fake news networks. These same Democrats today apply a double standard because they not only oppose to all his policies, they are truly hate the man. Hypocrites all. Remember, Democrats are always right in what they do and say. The rest of us are not. Webster defines the word compromise as an agreement or settlement of a dispute that is reached by each side making concessions. In other words, each side in a dispute has to give up a little to come to an agreement. One of the reasons it's so difficult to reason with a Democrat is that they compromise and they mean they are right and we are wrong. You drop all of your demands and completely agree with us. That's a compromise. Jeez. In 2015, I went to one of Trump's rallies. And even though there were over a dozen of his fellow Republicans bidding for the job of President of the United States, I felt he was going to win the Republican nomination. In November 2016, I was flabbergasted. Donald J. Trump was now President Donald J. Trump. Even today, I get excited thinking about it. Although the fake news and journalists like Rachel Maddow, who said we live in hell now, and those on MSNBC and CNN have a far different outlook on President Trump. Since Donald Trump took office, 91% of all mainstream media and/or reporters have been negative. How does a president make it with that amount of the press against him? And he still is. From day one in office, these journalists cannot or will not say even the slightest positive thing about the man and his policies. In contrast, compare that to the coverage Obama received from the same media when he took office. 100% positive. Softball questions and slobbering over the man like he was a king or a messiah. In their minds, the man could do no wrong. It seems to this guy that these Trump haters actually want to see him fail in the meeting with North Korea and the leader Kim Jong-un. Do they realize that failure at this summit will lead to nuclear war on the North Korean peninsula? If his summit happens, President Trump will be the first sitting president to ever have a face-to-face meeting with a Korean ruler. Whether major strides are made at this summit, or it's the first steps towards denuclearization of the North Korean peninsula, President Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. After all, Barack Hussein Obama got it for doing next to nothing. That is, unless you think the Iran nuke treaty was good for our country. Not. Through these negotiations with North Korea, President Trump has achieved the release of 3 American prisoners held by North Korea. Of course, the Trump haters say that Kim Jong-un released them on his own accord, and it had nothing to do with Trump. Again, these haters won't give an inch and admit that through harsh sanctions and tough talk, President Trump has got the Korean leader to actually sit down for peace talks. It was because of these talks initiated by Trump that Kim Jong-un decided to release the prisoners. President Trump got it done. Trump became a billionaire by knowing how to negotiate. One of the things I really liked about the man, he speaks his mind and doesn't hold back any punches. He's the first president ever to use social media and tweeting to the extent he does. Most presidents talk a big game when they're trying to get elected, but rarely do they promise they made to get your vote. Even though the Democratic Party resists him at every step, he, President Trump, already fulfilled his presidential promise to the people of this country. Tax reform, the lowest unemployment rate of African Americans in history, the lowest unemployment rate of Latinos in history, the lowest unemployment rate for women in over 17 years and soon to be in history. An unemployment rate that is now, 3.8, the lowest in decades. The wall is being built. If it wasn't for Senator John McCain, another Trump hater, we would have reformed Obamacare by now. Don't worry, it will happen. Even though all the Democrats and/or Trump haters are pushing back as hard as they can, President Trump is still getting it done. Just think of how great this country could be if we could all just work as one. But with the attitudes we have today, it's an impossible dream. What a shame. And I haven't even gotten into poor Hillary Clinton. I think we've heard every excuse in the book for why she lost the election in 2016. I'm surprised she hasn't blamed the planets being out of alignment yet, because she's come up with every reason but the truth. The country wanted Trump and not her. It's hard to live with it, I'm sure, but it's time she and the Trump haters move on. As I like to say, we trumped the bitch. Get over it. Hillary, stop whining and man up. You lost. It's time to fade away. I haven't even gotten into the Russian collusion, Obama's spying and wiretapping on Trump, Hillary paying payoffs for false documents, no evidence in the Mueller investigation, the Democrats colluding with Russia or North Korea, Iran, China, Israel, the immigration problem, and many, many other topics. So please, stay tuned. So till next time, God bless our president, our country, and you. Good night.